I think everybody felt it wasn't about football today. I think everyone had heavy hearts and everyone's had really, thoughts and conversation.
Is there a sense of comfort, though, being back and seeing everything the team is doing to try to keep you guys safe?
I'm just here to play football. No opinion or answer to that question, really.
I really don't give a damn about that. If we can play in a stadium that's full, half full, third full, home or away, we're happy. That shows progress with the COVID. Otherwise, I personally don't care.
Okay.
Other than I would like to see fans.
Baker said this week that your chemistry between the two of you is going to be way better than it was last season. Do you feel the same way? And if so, why is that?
Of course I'm going to say it's going to be better than last year. But again, it's kind of a day-by-day approach. And we'll see what happens when we get out on the field. As far as him, he looks great. Mentally, physically, he's got like a 4-pack now. So he's doing great, man. He's just in a good place, and as a teammate and as a guy who's always been a fan of Bake, as a brother, it's great to see him in this place. So we're just working each and every day.
We played that during PFT Live today, but we didn't have a chance to react to it. We wanted to start PFT OT on this Wednesday with those comments from Odell Beckham Jr. about his chemistry with Baker Mayfield, because Chris and I both kind of paused when he paused. And when he said, well, of course I'm going to say it's better. It really makes me wonder, number one, Chris, how bad it was last year. And number two, whether Odell truly feels it's going to be any different in 2020. Just kind of listening between the lines. I don't get the impression that Odell is ready to declare that there's going to be any dramatic difference in their chemistry from last year to this year.
Well, he definitely seemed off in those snippets of that interview, right? Like not the same, energy and exuberance we usually see from Odell Beckham Jr. Very measured, definitely. And hey, we've discussed a lot, on our show throughout the last year. The connection was not good last year between Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. I think Baker Mayfield felt the pressure to get the ball to him. I think the whole organization, Freddie Kitchens, everybody involved felt that pressure. I think it led to Baker Mayfield making some stupid decisions at times and trying to force the ball to him and really kind of confuse their offense to a degree. So I do expect it to get better. That I do. And yeah, I think he's acknowledging that. But to me, more than anything, I just feel like he was like, and I've heard him say this to me before, and I think he was being very measured. Like he didn't want to make any headlines. And, I know on my podcast before he's explained he gets exhausted how people jump on every word and things he says. And hey, I understand it, rightly so. He's a superstar, and, he's said some things that deserve some attention every now and then. But yeah, to me, it was like almost like a guy that was like gun shy a little bit. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm afraid of what I might say. So I'm going to just be really like monotone and just answer every question the same way and not really say anything.
And see, part of the maturation process is, first of all, not saying the things that people will react to and make you upset that they reacted to the things you said. The next level is selling when you say the thing that won't trigger a reaction. You got to do it in a way that keeps us from saying something's not right here.
Yeah, right.
He's holding back something.
Right.
And this goes back to my initial reaction, March of 2019, when out of the blue, the Giants trade Beckham to the Browns. My question is, just as Baker Mayfield is becoming the new LeBron James in Cleveland based upon what he did in his rookie season, is the town big enough for both of them? And is that playing out at some level? Beckham and Mayfield, and who's got more sway in the locker room? And I'd love to know what went on behind the scenes last year when Mayfield is regressing, and there's all this talk about Beckham wants the ball, and how much did that screw up Baker when he's doing his reads? Is he holding the ball too long to give Beckham a chance to get open? Is he forcing the ball into coverage when somebody else is open? It was that constant presence last year.
It was.
Of this question of we have to, and we were all over it, because it's glaring. That's not how you run an offense. Here's how you run an offense. The quarterback throws the ball to the guy who's open.
That's right.
Period.
Right.
Get open.
Yes.
And if you're not open and someone else is, you're helping the team win. You're not getting the stats. So be it. The team is winning because there are favorable matchups elsewhere because they're determined to take you away. And the more that they talked about it, Chris, these coaches are smart. They know the way to beat the Browns is take away Odell Beckham Jr., and it's going to screw him up because they're so determined to get him the football.
Yeah, well, there were certain games where you knew that was like the mantra going into the game. Let's go to Odell some touches early and force the ball to him, make him feel comfortable and get the offense going that way. And you're right. That's not the way to do it. Listen, when you force a ball to the guy like that, yeah, it throws off the whole rhythm of the offense. And more importantly, it throws the psyche of the quarterback off. And hey, Freddie Kitchens is partly to blame. Baker Mayfield's partly to blame for feeling that pressure. He's got to be able to be bigger than that and block it out and just go, like you're saying, I'm going to run the damn play, and I'm going to read the coverage. And if it so happens to go to Odell Beckham Jr., then so be it. But there was times where, he forced the ball, and you're like, damn, what is he doing? And then I think he gets in his own head, Baker Mayfield, to where now he's going, wait, I forced it to him too many times. Let me go to the other side of the field. And then that's when you go, damn, Odell was open. You should have thrown it to him then. Now he's open. He's been open for the last 4 plays. So there was a lot of that inconsistency going on last year. Kevin Stefanski, yes, don't go out of your way. You can formulate offensive attacks and game plans around, hey, they were going to run this drop back pass, and I'm going to make Odell the first read, but not to where we're just going to go like, oh, we're dropping back to pass and throwing it to Odell. This play is just all about him and getting him open. No, yeah, you got to do it by committee. And you use that guy as a pawn in your offense as a part of your scheme to therefore then get defenses to go, wait, their scheme's pretty good, and man, they know how to feed this guy the ball in the scheme. Whoa, we need to do something to take away Odell Beckham Jr., and then all of a sudden Jarvis Landry's wide open, or, David Njoku or Austin Hooper. And last year they just had it a little bit backwards, and there certainly was pressure on that situation.
Wait a minute. You make Austin Hooper your first pick in the best tight ends draft other than Travis Kelce and George Kittle, and he gets mentioned after David Njoku. I think you just revealed yourself there. You don't feel as strongly about Austin Hooper as you claimed.
I just had names going through my head. My brain. It doesn't always work coherently, okay? So.
And here's the thing. Kevin Stefanski was in Minnesota from 2006 through 2009. He got there a couple of years after the failed Randy ratio. But anytime there's a receiver that a team is determined to get the ball to, that they've got this personality that needs to be catered to. He needs to have the ball. That's counterproductive. You can't do that. You can't say we're going to get the ball to this player a certain number of times. Defenses are too evolved now. The defensive backs are too good. The coverages are too good. You can't force the ball. Unless you truly have, and even a Randy Moss, it doesn't work. You can't force the ball to the same guy over and over and over again because that makes your offense too predictable and it creates too much stress when it doesn't happen the way you want it to. So hopefully the Browns are going to evolve past that with Kevin Stefanski as the head coach. One last thing on Beckham. We only played a little bit of the conversation about whether he considered opting out.
Right.
Because he had the comments to the Wall Street Journal a couple of weeks before camp opened where he said, hey, I'd be fine if they don't have a season at all. I don't know why we're even trying to do it. He didn't opt out. He wouldn't talk about why and whether he feels comfortable with the team. I think he wanted to stay away from that topic altogether. But I think his words made it obvious. If he meant what he said to the Wall Street Journal, he had to have been thinking about opting out.
Chris. Of course, yeah, I think so. I think that it plays into what we were just saying. I just think he was gun shy in this, right away, and probably a little scarred by things that have happened before. And then he makes those comments to the Wall Street Journal, and it becomes a big topic. And I think he was afraid of making news. I do think he's a guy that's, again, a superstar. But like you said, he's maturing. He's trying to find his niche on this new team and find his way to make it all work and do those things. And, it's not always been perfect. But I think he's a guy that's a little bit wears his heart on his sleeve, and it gets him in trouble by doing that at times. And that's what kind of happened with the Wall Street Journal thing. And then he gets asked that question there in Cleveland yesterday. And I think he's just going, oh, damn, I don't want to be on the cover of the sports page here again in Cleveland tomorrow and have to answer these questions. And he just goes, no comment.
In Buffalo, Josh Allen has a different mindset when it comes to running the ball this year. We noticed he was running it less last year. It sounds like he may be running it even on fewer occasions this year, Chris. He said to reporters on Tuesday, my mindset this year is a little different. I'm trying to get the ball into our playmakers' hands and let them make plays because they're a lot quicker and shiftier than I am. I don't know about that based on how Josh Allen has run the ball at times. But when my number's called, I will step up to the plate. Look, I get it. I understand it. That's what a quarterback needs to do. He needs to distribute the football, but he has significant skills when it comes to running the ball. And to the extent you can use those skills to keep a defense off balance, you need to have that threat. And maybe this is part of the setup, right? Maybe they want people to think he's not going to run the ball very much. But when you have those skills, I'm not saying overdo it, but if you have to use those skills to have the threat present, and the threat needs to be present to make it easier to operate your passing game.
Yeah, that's right. I think he's trying to be more of a facilitator this year. He does realize that he's got weapons around him, and he doesn't have to do it all himself. But yes, like to what you're saying, Mike, there's that fine line there where, well, you're a great athlete and you can do things with your leg. Let's not, part of the reason we drafted you in the top 10 is because of that. So I hope what he's talking about is maybe a little less game plan design runs, maybe himself not lowering his shoulder like we saw him do in the wild card game a number of times and realizing, wait, the greater good is not for me to lower the shoulder to get an extra yard. It's for me to be out here on the field playing. So hopefully he's understood that. But you're right, Mike. I hope he doesn't become a robot or a little too much of a pocket passer, because some of the great plays we've seen over the last 2 years, not only until him running, but his ability to scramble and buy extra time and make unbelievable throws once he escapes out of the pocket is one of his greatest gifts. Hopefully that's what he's talking about, and just not being maybe like the meathead, the tough, strong guy, great athlete on the field like I've always been my whole life, and starting to realize, whoa, this is the NFL and I could get hurt doing that crap.
Yeah, whenever any quarterback runs the ball, he's got to run smart. You can't put your shoulder down. You have to know when to slide, when to get out of bounds. You have to know how your body moves in relation to the defenders. That's one of Aaron Rodgers' great skills.
Yep.
Same thing with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, and I remember stunning him one time. And when he does, I told him he reminds me of Barry Sanders, in that Barry Sanders always had that instinct where he knew exactly how to take a hit.
Yeah.
And you never saw Barry Sanders get blown up.
Right.
And you never see Russell Wilson get blown up. And we've seen Josh Allen get blown up, and we've seen him do the blowing up, and that's how you get yourself injured as a quarterback. Take it from Robert Griffin. Remember that? His first game with the Browns several years ago, he decided to drop his shoulder into, I think it was the Eagles they were playing in Cleveland that day, and the shoulder was injured, and that was that.
That was that.
For Robert Griffin as the starter of the Cleveland Browns. All right, Robert Griffin III was drafted by Daniel Snyder back in 2012 over the not-so-subtle objection of the Shanahans. Daniel Snyder is on Twitter. I was stunned to see this yesterday, Chris. Real_Dan Snyder. There it is. And I have a pending request. Apparently, whoever took that screenshot has a pending request, too. He's got protected tweets. You have to request access. So you click follow.
Wow.
And he'll decide at some point whether or not he's going to let you view his tweets, whatever they may be.
What do you think?
Made the request.
You think you're going to make it?
You think he's going to let me in?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Although, this is the perfect litmus test, or as you once said on this program, or on PFT Live, rather, litmus test. If he really is changing, if he really is different, he will let me in. He will, right? And why would he be on Twitter if this isn't a sign that he's changing, that he's different in some way? Now, he may find out very quickly that he wants nothing to do with Twitter. I mean, just our simple story with the link saying welcome to Snyder, or welcome to Snyder Daniel Twitter, or welcome to Twitter Daniel Snyder. It's a cesspool.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
So I don't know. Either he's a sucker for punishment, or he doesn't quite understand how this works. So far, he's following 2 accounts. He's got 4 followers. You can't see any of that unless he lets you follow him. We'll see. One time I clicked follow for Le'Veon Bell, and I didn't realize his tweets were protected. And then I noticed months after the fact that it was still pending. It's so I don't know. I don't know when Dan Snyder's going to get around to it. It's been a day now. I'm waiting, Dan Snyder. Make a decision. Am I in or am I out? And Chris, I suggest you do the same. Let's see if one of us somehow gets in.
Okay, I like that. I'm down to do that. I'm going to do that when we get off the show here. I will echo the sentiments of what you said. I would hope this is a sign of him turning the page and him becoming a different guy and changing the aura around the Washington football team and everything about that, and maybe to give himself a little bit of a voice because, yeah, for lack of a better phrase, he kind of been crapped on this offseason. So maybe he feels like this is a chance for him to get some thoughts out there that will help the team and the community and the fan base to follow and do that, and I got no problem with that.
I think he's going to let you in. You know why?
Why?
You hold a special place in his heart. You are one of the few teams that he actually beat in the playoffs during his 21 years. Yeah,
you had to go there, huh? You had to go there.
There's a connection.
Yeah, there's a connection. That still hurts me. That game. Damn you. We were better that day. Don't you have to go do a radio appearance or something?
Does it hurt you more than turning 40 in 3 days? What hurts more?
No, yeah, that does. That hurts more. That hurts definitely more. Right. I still have I don't really go by a week where I still don't think about that every now and then and go, damn, we won that. If we win that game, I don't know what happens that year. I mean, we had a chance to, maybe make a run. It hurts.
It's a great glimpse, although I'm sorry that you have to deal with it. It's a great glimpse of how guys carry that around for the rest of their lives. Long after fans have forgotten about it and moved on, media has forgotten about it and moved on, for the guys who are in the middle of it, what may have been, that's that nagging thing that never goes away. What could we have done if we had gotten past that level?
Right, no doubt. I got that once in my NFL career and then once in my college career. My junior year, we lost to Colorado in the Big 12 championship. If we win that game, we're going to go play Miami in the Rose Bowl for the national championship. Those two moments, they come in my brain, every few weeks, to where I go, damn, if that was a little different, where would my life be? What would have happened? What would our team have done? And, that's part of the greatness of sports. It really is.
You probably would not be spending so much time with a slappy like me if that had worked out.
You're right. I always tell friends that Big 12 championship game I lost, I mean, that probably cost me $20 million. I mean, I was thinking about coming out in the draft as a junior that year because I was having people reach out to people around me going, we're thinking about Chris as the top 10, top 15, top 20 pick. I was literally deciding that. Then I threw 3 interceptions in that Big 12 championship game, and there went that dream. Flushed it down the toilet.
Pete says we're glad you lost. I say speak for yourself, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
On
Screw
that note,
you, Mike.
everybody have a great Wednesday. Chris, let me be among the first to tell you happy birthday coming up in 3 days. Happy 40th. We'll see everybody tomorrow for another edition of PFT Live. Have a great day.
See ya.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.